How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at all the movies I got for August 2024. And it's a fun little haul this time around. If you guys know my channel, you probably know that I enjoy going to a used movie store and just digging around and seeing what I can find. And I did manage to find some good, kind of random older stuff, but also some bigger things and some holes in my collection that I'm super glad to fill. But in addition to that, I actually went to my first ever horror convention, and I'll show you guys what I got there, including 2 of my movies getting signed by actors from the movies, which I was really excited for. I mean, it was really cool to meet these people. I wanted to do way more of them, but the convention was so huge, and I was trying to do as much as I could. And at the end of the day, I only wound up with 2, but they're 2 that I really do like, and hopefully I get to go to another one of these in the future and get more of them, because like I said, it was really fun. So I think in total, there are 13 things to look at, plus the 2 signatures. So let's go ahead and show you guys. Without further ado, let's switch to the close-up camera. Alright, here we are inside the castle, taking a closer look at the Blu-rays and DVDs I got for the month of August. And I'm going to start off with a section about the convention I went to, my first ever horror convention, some pretty cool stuff. Now, these first 2 things, the physical media isn't new, but the signatures are new, and I was super glad. I know some people come in with posters and props, but I'm a physical media guy, and I want my DVDs signed, you know? So the first one I got is Felicia Rose, who was the lead in Sleepaway Camp, and she wrote this quote from the movie, "Meet me at the waterfront after dark." And yeah, it was so good to meet her. A lot of people will say this about her, and it really is true. She is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, and if you're ever at a convention, go and talk to her. She's really great. But yeah, a really great classic slasher movie, and now I have my new Scream Factory Blu-ray of it signed. That's really fun. The other one that I knew I had to get at the convention was Emily Perkins. This is my DVD of Ginger Snaps, and she wrote "United Against Life as We Know It," and then her signature there. And that's really cool. I knew I had to get her because ideally I'd want both the sisters to sign it, so I knew I had to grab one up when I had the chance, but here's hoping that Catherine Isabel comes to one of the conventions. I wanted to get a lot more, but there was so much to do at the convention, and the lines were kind of long, and admittedly my funds were a little bit low, but I'll definitely be trying to get more signatures at more conventions, because it was really fun, and I hope to do more of them in the future. I did pick up some new stuff from the convention, and first thing around is No Sleep, Anthology of Horror Volume 1. This No Sleep company was actually a booth that they had set up at the convention, and they were selling DVDs and Blu-rays of their films, and I think they were all found footage films. And again, man, if I had more money when I went down there, I really wanted to pick them all up, but I figured I'd at least get this one because they said it was a collection of their original short films, so it's an anthology. Sounds really cool, and I love the idea of getting physical media for indie films, so definitely can't wait to put this one in. After that, there were quite a few booths that had a bunch of physical media of a bunch of different films, all the way from VHS to 4K, and I was flipping through one that had a bunch of DVDs, and I found this for only $8, Amityville in Space. I collect Amityville films, but some of the later ones are a little hard to find on physical media, unless you order them through Amazon for too much money. So to find this in person and for it to only be $8, I was really glad to pick it up. But the funny story is, when I showed the guy what I was buying, he's like, $8? You can have it for $5. So he knocked it down even more, which is great, especially considering it's probably not going to be the best movie. But it seems that the Amityville house somehow gets lost in space and is found by scavengers. Basically, we're doing like Jason X, but with Amityville. I don't have the highest hopes for this one. Man, no pun intended there. But I'm hoping we get a good, goofy little adventure. Alright, convention section done. Let's jump into the movie I got actually on 4K. and that is Halloween Ends. I had the other Blumhouse Halloweens. This one I felt was okay, but they kind of sacrificed their final chapter in exchange for trying to do the first spin-off film, and I thought that wasn't the best idea, but I want all the Halloween movies, and this one I hadn't got yet, but I found this exclusive collector's edition, and if we crack this open, we get a good wide of Michael and Laurie there. Flip it to the back, it talks about its features, and we slide that out, and we see that it's got the mask. It's kind of weird. I think most of the Halloween Blumhouse movies are just the mask on the front cover, so I kind of like the alt cover with both Michael and Laurie a lot better. It's a little more different, you know? Crack it open, we can see the 4K and the Blu-ray there. After that, I got a Scream Factory movie. This is called Sphinx. Got her in some sort of Egyptian setting. Looks like more of an adventure movie than a mummy movie or something. But it talks about how she's in Egypt looking for some treasure and people are coming after her. Kind of maybe something like Jewel of the Nile? I don't know. But it's actually directed by the guy who directed Planet of the Apes, so that's pretty cool. Crack it open and we get the disc with a still of the movie behind them. Always glad to add something to my mummy section, is basically Egypt and mummies, so I'll put this in there. Anyway, after that, one that I was really lucky to find, Red Dwarf: The Promised Land. A bit ago, I picked up some Red Dwarfs, and I think I have seasons 1 through 5. This is actually the 13th, and I think it's like a 3-parter rather than like a full season. It's basically a movie that they did to end the show, which is pretty cool, a nice finale piece. There's the back right there, slide the slip off, and there's the disc. But yeah, Red Dwarf was a fun show, and I'm really excited to see how it's going to end. After that, moving into the DVDs, and you know how I had one Amityville movie earlier? Well, I got another one, Amityville Island. I saw this on Amazon and it had a like 30% off coupon or something like that, and I'd figured, why not? I can use this for Sharks of Summer. I cover Amityville movies and shark movies. This seemed like a great thing. Except for the case is a lie. Yeah, the Amityville evil kind of just bounces into the shark for like one scene, and there's less than 2 minutes of sharks in this movie. This is a lie. The movie's really about the Amityville evil inside this one girl, and she's being secretly tested on to make a super soldier baby. The whole movie is super lazy, and it was ultimately really disappointing. There's the disc, same picture as the front. Again, I wish this was a shark movie. But yeah, a lot of the modern Amityville movies are kind of letdowns. After that, I found this movie in Walmart, and it looked interesting. Deer Camp 86, and this is about a bunch of hunters in the 80s, and they're going to encounter a slasher villain. I always love to see new indie films. I always want to see a good, cool slasher, and with the 86, you can tell that this is part of those modern retro throwbacks. So overall, looks pretty fun. Hoping to get a good new slasher out of it. And the disc is actually a picture of their cabin with a little fire outside of it. So that's pretty cool. After that, one that I had before, but this is a better version. Freddy vs. Jason. I had this in a Nightmare on Elm Street collection, which in turn it was kind of bare bones. But when I saw this in the store for really cheap, nice foil front cover there. Flip it to the back, it talks about the plot of the movie. But the thing that got me is this is the special 2-disc edition. So I always love to have the disc with the special features in it. And it's really cool. They kept that same foil looking style. And you get Freddy on disc 1. And Jason on disc 2. I really need to cover the last of the Friday the 13th movies. I've covered all the way up to the Jason ones. Anyway, let's move on. After that, we have Dark Water, the remake with Jennifer Connelly. I just read the book The Ring. and I was like, how many of Koji Suzuki's movies do I have? And I honestly thought I had the Dark Water movies, but I realized I didn't. And in turn, I put them on the list, and I of course found the remake first. I remember liking the remake. Jennifer Connelly's always cool, and I'm glad to throw this into the collection really quick. Crack it open, we get this fun red disc, and I really do like the artwork there with the little ripples from the water. After that, a film from a line I've been collecting, and that is the Tartan Asian Extreme line, and this one's called The Red Shoes. A really cool, striking cover, and I love the tagline, "One size kills all." However, it doesn't really say much about the movie. The synopsis is really short. Mysteriously abandoned on a subway platform lies a pair of red shoes to die for. And I love this quote, "Gory from Fangoria." Okay, sounds fun. But yeah, the Tartan Asian Extreme line, they put out some really cool stuff, and I'm always up to see what they put out. And there we get the chapter selection, and I love how in the chapter selection the shoe is upright, and then on the disc it falls over. That's pretty funny. And of course, it's on a severed foot. After that, I found for pretty cheap, The Haunting of Alice D. And this is actually one of the movies that was rebranded as one of the American Poltergeist movies. I think it was a later one, like 5 or 7 or something. But we flip it to the back and it talks about there's a haunted house that used to be a brothel, and a girl who was kidnapped in there named Alice D eventually revolted and killed everyone, and now the house is haunted with her ghost. So, sounds interesting. A group of new people, of course, come to party in the house, and then they're all gonna get killed, right? Anyway, there's the ad disc, the same as the front, and I do like, seeing the ad behind the disc. After that, only 2 more to go, and they're both kind of random picks. I found this one for really cheap. Twisted Sisters. This is an old barcode. I got it for like 5 instead, but the old Hollywood Video logo. A really cool movie that I had heard nothing about, and I love finding old obscure horror movies. Flip it to the back and it talks about how there were a pair of twin sisters who were separated at birth. One went to a really good life and the other wound up in a really bad one. Well, the one that suffered is now going to find her sister and exact a little bit of revenge. Always cool to have the evil twin trope. Crack it open and the disc is the same as the front. After that, the last thing, another kind of random pull, and that is The Devil's Well. This is another Wild Eye movie, kind of like Amityville in Space and Amityville Island. Wild Eye can put out some not the best stuff, but I found this for like $4 in a used movie store, and I thought, why not? Again, modern indie movies don't always have the best printings, and I thought, $4 ain't that bad of a gamble. Let's see if anything comes out of it. I do wonder with the well element if this is supposed to be like The Ring or something. Flip it to the back, we see some people doing a ritual, and they're all in mask, and it talks about how this girl went missing while trying to do an investigation of the Devil's Well, and now they're trying to find her. And I do like, if you look down at bonus features, we not only get deleted scenes, but also short films. That's a lot more bonus features than we normally get from little Wild Eye releases, so maybe this one will be good. Disc is of course same as the front, but it looks like this might have been a former rental with this sticker here. Anyway, that's it. We got a good little haul of random stuff here. I think there are 13 new movies and then 2 with the signatures, so a total of 15 items to look at, some Blu-rays, DVDs, and even a 4K. Overall, a fun little haul, albeit kind of random, and I can't wait to see what I stumble across next month, because I do kind of like the randomness a bit, you never really know what you're gonna get. And if one of these is especially cool, definitely recommend, and I'll try to get to a review a little earlier. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.